Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're tackling an area that's, well, surprisingly critical but often misunderstood in the world of digital security, identity management.
Yeah, it trips people up sometimes.
It really does. We're going to try and untangle two concepts that, honestly, when they get confused, it can lead to real security gaps and operational bottlenecks, too. We're talking about IGA and ILM.
Right. And our mission for this deep dive, really, is to pull out the most important bits from the source material you've got, that focused overview comparing IGA and ILM. The goal is to give you a really clear, concise understanding of what they actually are, how they differ, and maybe most importantly, why that distinction matters so much for you.
Absolutely. By the end of this session, hopefully you'll not only have a solid grasp of these terms, but also a much clearer picture of, their relevance in securing and streamlining digital access.
Whether you're building something, managing it.
Exactly, or just trying to understand how it all clicks together. So, let's dive right in. At first glance, what exactly are IGA and ILM, and, where do they start to diverge?
Okay, well, let's kick off with IGA. That stands for Identity Governance and Administration. You should think of it as a really broad sort of strategic framework.
Okay, broad.
Yeah, it essentially marries two critical functions. First, identity governance. That's all about policy enforcement, making sure you're compliant, and crucially, giving you visibility over who has access to what.
The oversight part.
Precisely. And then there's identity administration. This handles the more hands-on tasks. Things like creating accounts.
Provisioning, right?
Exactly. Provisioning and managing specific permissions. That's entitlement management. Basically controlling what apps or resources someone can actually use. Its main job, really, is to manage and secure all digital identities across an organization. Now, ILM, Identity Lifecycle Management, that's different. It's much more focused. Think of it as an operational subset.
More specific.
Very specific. It deals particularly with the processes and the tech for managing a digital identity from the absolute beginning, its creation.
Day one.
Day one. Through all its changes, right up until it's deleted. So this includes things like onboarding new hires, updating their access if their role changes, and really importantly, securely offboarding them when they leave.
Okay, so if I'm picturing this, IGA sounds like maybe the comprehensive operations manual for a super secure building. It covers everything. Who gets a key, how the surveillance works, the fire safety rules.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And even auditing to make sure everyone's following those rules.
Yeah.
And ILM, that's more like the specific step-by-step process for issuing, updating, and taking back those individual keys at the front desk.
Perfect.
So one's the big strategic umbrella, and the other is a really specific but totally essential process underneath it. Does that kind of track?
That's a fantastic analogy, actually. And building right on that, when we talk about their scope, IGA really does cover both the governance and the administration across the whole identity ecosystem. The whole thing.
Pretty much. We're talking human users, employees, contractors, you name it, but also machines, automated service accounts, applications, even specific sets of data. It's incredibly comprehensive.
Right. And that difference in scope, that's where it gets really interesting, I think, for anyone actually managing systems day to day. Who or what are we actually managing here?
Exactly.
So in contrast to IGA's huge reach, ILM is, like you said, much narrower. It zeroes in just on the life cycle of an identity itself. Its creation, keeping it maintained while it's active, and then its termination across different systems. It's really about the journey of that single identity.
And if we look at the why behind each, their core purposes really underline their differences. IGA's main goal is ensuring secure access, yes, but also maintaining compliance with really important regulations.
Like GDPR, IPR, that kind of thing. Exactly those. And proactively mitigating risk. It does this by defining who should have access to what, really rigorously enforcing those policies, and providing that critical visibility and auditability into everything identity related. It's about proving you've got control.
Okay, so ILM's purpose then is more about streamlining the technical process of managing those identities as they change over time. Like a new hire needing access to maybe dozens of systems on day one.
Yeah, a classic case.
Or someone changing departments and needing different permissions. Or even someone leaving the company and you need to revoke all their access, like now. ILM makes sure those grants or revocations happen properly and efficiently. It sounds like one is about the rules, the why, and the other is making sure the rules get applied smoothly, the how.
That's a great way to put it. IGA balances that day-to-day operational efficiency, the administration side, with the higher-level strategic oversight of governance. It's looking at both the mundane and the monumental, you could say. And what's fascinating here is that ILM's focus is almost purely on the operational execution of those identity tasks. It's very much a hands-on piece, often acting as a key component inside broader IAM identity and access management, or even IGA systems themselves.
Right.
If IGA is the what and the why, ILM is definitely the how.
That really brings up an important question for you listening. Are you primarily looking at the what and the why, or are you mainly concerned with the how something gets done? IGA ensures that identity management lines up perfectly with the organization's policies, security standards, regulatory needs, all that stuff. It gives you clear visibility into who has access to what, and maybe more importantly, why they have that access. And this often involves tools like access certification.
Yes, that's key. Periodically reviewing and confirming who should have access.
Right. And also robust audit trails, those detailed logs of every identity-related action.
And it's really crucial to emphasize that ILM, while absolutely critical for things to run smoothly day to day, it focuses squarely on the mechanics of managing identities through their life cycle.
Just the mechanics.
Pretty much. Creating accounts, updating them, deleting them. It doesn't inherently question the why behind those access rights. That why is really where IGA steps in, providing that necessary governance layer.
Okay, so let's break it down a bit further. What actually lives inside each of these? Like, what are the core components we're talking about?
Sure. For IGA, you're looking at things like defining policies, having robust role management, segregation of duties, often called SODI.
OD, right.
Right.
Preventing conflict.
Exactly. Making sure no single person has too much power or conflicting access. Then you've got regular access reviews, attestation, which is like formally signing off on access, and then comprehensive analytics and reporting. That gives you the full picture of your identity landscape.
And ILM's components. Sounds like they're much more concentrated on those identity administration type tasks we mentioned earlier.
That's right. It's the actual mechanics, creating digital identities, syncing them across different systems, maybe copying info from an HR system into Active Directory.
Yeah, common scenario.
Updating attributes like someone's job title changes when they move departments, and then finally deactivating their accounts when they leave the organization.
Okay, let's try and bring this to life with some real-world scenarios. Make it a bit more concrete. For IGA, maybe imagine an organization that not only automates user provisioning, which is great for efficiency, obviously.
Huge efficiency gain.
But also ensures, maybe through continuous monitoring, that no one ever gets excessive privileges. That's sticking to the least privilege principle, right?
Absolutely fundamental. Give people only the minimum access they need.
Exactly. And on top of that, maybe the IGA system automatically generates the compliance reports you need to prove all this is happening correctly.
A clear ILM example, then, might be a system automatically provisioning a new employee's accounts in Active Directory.
Microsoft's directory service. Yeah.
Right. The moment they're officially hired, according to the HR system. And then, just as automatically, deprovisioning them, removing or disabling access when they leave the organization.
Which is critical.
Oh, absolutely. Without good ILM, that offboarding process, it can easily lead to lingering access and massive security holes. Those are huge risks for any company. And just to connect this back to the practical examples mentioned in your source material, an IGA scenario could involve an organization using a tool, maybe like Secret Server, to store credentials securely and enforce approval workflows. That's the governance piece.
Okay.
While at the same time, it's automating user account creation in other connected systems. That's the administration part working together.
Got it. Governance and admin in one.
Exactly. And for ILM, you might see something simpler, maybe like a PowerShell script, that automation language directly syncing HR data into Active Directory. It creates accounts for new hires, updates roles for transfers, and disables accounts for people who've left. Pure lifecycle automation.
Makes sense. PowerShell's pretty common for that.
Very common. So if we try and connect this to the bigger picture, the whole digital security landscape, IGA is actually seen as a subset of IAM.
IAM, Identity and Access Management, the really big umbrella.
Right, the whole field covering everything about managing digital identities and controlling access. IGA sort of extends beyond just the basic access control like authentication, proving who you are, and authorization, and what you can do to add that crucial layer of governance and administration on top.
Okay, so IGA sits within IAM. And where does ILM fit?
ILM, in turn, is often considered a foundational piece. It could be foundational to IAM or to IGA, depending on how you look at it. It provides those essential, repeatable lifecycle processes that let the broader identity management function actually work smoothly.
Ah, okay. So one kind of builds on the other ultimately.
Yeah.
They're related but distinct layers.
Precisely. Distinct layers, distinct purposes.
So to really try and tie a bow on the core takeaway from our deep dive today, IGA seems to be that comprehensive framework. It ensures secure, compliant identity management using both that high-level governance and the day-to-day administration.
That's the essence of it.
While ILM is the specific operational process, it's focused on managing identities through their entire digital journey, from creation to retirement, so to speak.
Yeah, birth to death of the digital identity. And understanding these distinctions, it really empowers you. It helps you navigate those digital security discussions much better, appreciate the critical layers involved in access control,
Right.
and just recognize the strategic importance of getting identity management right in, well, any organization or system you might interact with. It's kind of the difference between just having the right tools and actually knowing how to use them effectively together.
That really raises an important question then, doesn't it? How does truly understanding these layers of identity management, the governance, the administration, the life cycle, empower you to ensure not just security, but also that seamless operational flow in any system you interact with? How does it help prevent those costly bottlenecks and vulnerabilities before they even show up? Something to think about.